Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you watch my first video. I hope you're all having a magical day. Today, I'm going to show you my past crochet projects. I started crocheting about 2 years ago. Everything started at Michael's actually, and since then I am just obsessed. I went to Michael's. I was grabbing some stuff probably for sewing, or I'm not even sure. I just like Michael's. I just go there, spend hours. It's great. So while I was there, I found this little kit for knitting and crocheting. So the booklet came with a hook, and then the knitting booklet came with a pair of knitting needles. Since then, I've been learning a lot by watching videos, trying free patterns, trying to freehand crochet myself. I am trying to figure out how to recreate something without reading a pattern, and it is fun and challenging. It's really about like making a swatch and doing all the math. It is complicated, but it is fun. And most of the time it works. Sometimes I can't really figure out the pattern. Also, it helps me that I was a fashion student and I have a general idea about patterns, about sewing patterns. So if I'm making clothing, at least I can think of it that way. Good thing about crochet is you can just make squares or rectangles and they can turn into garments. And it's not as strict as sewing because crochet is more forgiving, because when you make a mistake when you're sewing, it's going to show on your garment. But with crochet, you can hide it, or it takes the form of your body. So it's not really a huge problem. Somehow you can hide it, or somehow it just works. That's why I like crochet, because I have very little patience actually. I don't know how I crochet. It's something that takes a lot of time. That's why I don't do a lot of big projects, because they take 20-30 hours. I made a sweater recently that took about, I think, 30 hours, maybe more. So I wouldn't do that again for sure. That's why I never even started making blankets. I envy people who make blankets. That's great. Like more than one blanket actually. People just like love making blankets, and it's mind-blowing because I could never. I don't think I could ever finish it. Since I started crocheting 2 years ago, I believe, maybe over 2 years, I can't really remember at this point. I made a lot of projects. I also started a small business where I make jewelry and crochet. I won't be showing you everything from my small business. There are a lot of little products that I make, that I crochet for that, but I am mostly going to show you the things I made just to learn, or the things that I made for myself. So I'm gonna show the projects in an order, from like when I started until now. I just wanted to do it that way so you can see my skill level changing and the things I learned and the more complicated projects I made. So let's start with my first project. So first one is this festival top. This was one of my first projects, either this or I made a bikini top as well. I think I donated that one, but I just kept everything else. I don't know why I gave that away. But that was like the same color, same type of ruffles. It was just a bikini top, and it was really cute. I'll put a picture on the screen of it because I really liked it. I took a picture of it, so I keep that at least. And then I made this, which has its mistakes for sure. It has these straps at the back, like a corset. You can tie it at the back. It works perfectly like that actually. It's just a little tangled. Getting in the top is a bit hard. But yeah, I learned how to make these ruffles and I was trying that. It was a lot of fun. And I made these little details here, the holes here as well. and these details over here. It has a little extra part at the top that it's a bit floppy, like this middle part. It should have been more straight, and then sitting here straight, it doesn't. So what I do is I just tuck it in. So I just tuck it in inside and use it like that. But I used it like that actually. I don't really wear this anymore because it's made of acrylic yarn. It makes me sweaty. It's not comfortable. But it was one of the projects that I made. I learned a lot since then. So yeah, at the end of the straps, I tried to make little flowers. They don't really look like flowers, but at least I tried, you know. It looks cute. It looks like a little button at least. So yeah, this was it. The next thing is a bag that I made. I followed a free crochet pattern for this. I am going to put everything in the description below so you can find free crochet patterns as well. They're really, really helpful, especially when you're first learning how to crochet. You can also find videos on the exact same patterns on YouTube. Not for everything, but I found almost all the patterns that I found videos of all the patterns that I used so far. So it was really helpful because when I got stuck or couldn't understand the pattern, I would watch the video, it would make it more clear. Otherwise, you might make mistakes and it might not come out the way you want to. So this bag is really cute, and I just use one type of yarn for this. But you can use different colored yarns for the flowers. It's supposed to look like this. Inside of it, and then you pull it closed. It is really nice. The flowers are really, really cute, and you don't add on these flowers. You make these flowers as you are building the bag. So as you're crocheting the bag, there are parts where you make the flowers, and it looks very, very cute. But the problem is, I think it could be my mistake. I'm not really sure. The flowers are not super clear. Maybe when you fill the bag, or if you make it correctly, the flowers will be more visible and more clear to see. Right now they're a little squished. And especially if you use different colored yarns, I think flowers will look better. At least it will, you know, just like it'll be cuter. And then I don't know why, but I think when I was connecting the ends, I left really large gaps, and that's why this part of the bag looks a little weird. But again, it's not something I use a lot, and I just made it to learn. So, worth it. And the next project is another free pattern that I used. It is, I think this stitch is called a waffle stitch. I am not really sure, but it looks great. I think it was a little difficult to make for my skill level then, but I somehow made it. It's a bit of a tight hat. It is really tight. So I didn't really use it, but it was a good learning experience, and I love this yarn. The color of the yarn is so cute. So yeah, this was a fun hat to make. And the next one is another festival top. I made this out of granny squares and triangles. It looks like this. This is very cute. I really like this top. It's very similar to the top I'm wearing right now, actually. Just put it on like that, and then you can tie it at the back. It has these ties at the back, very long, and I added little pearl beads at the end as well. Again, over here at the top. So this was a pretty easy top to make. I think I saw something similar on Pinterest, and I was like, okay, I'll make this. It's just triangles and squares. And it was easy. The only problem with it is that I think I got the sizing wrong, which is fine. It still fit me. I think it might fit me better now. But yeah, I learned how to make these triangles. I know how to make granny squares by heart at this point. I can make them so well. I can make tons of granny squares. But the triangles were a little confusing. But I did it. I did it somehow. It worked. And it's not super see-through. I think it's because of the different colors that I use or the tight stitching. I don't know. I wore this without any lining or anything underneath. And it worked fine. I don't know how. But yeah, I made the triangle. I added the squares at the bottom. And then while connecting these squares, I used single crochet, but now I know how to invisibly connect them. And if I was making it again, I would do that because this doesn't look really great. It has a bit of a texture, which is nice, but I would still make it invisible, like connect it invisibly, so you wouldn't be seeing any type of stitch in between here. Overall, I think for a beginner, this was a good top. The problem with this top was I added so many squares. Like, I made it adjustable anyway. There are ties at the back. I don't know why I did it like that, but I made it perfectly for my size. So the squares already, when they meet, they just, cover the whole top. So you don't really need the straps. I should have made it a bit smaller, so one less square would have been a better fit, and I would tie it at the back comfortably. But right at that moment when I made it, the squares met at the end, and when I tied it, they kind of started overlapping. So it was really big for me. So when you're making stuff, crocheting stuff, make sure that just keep in mind that they're gonna stretch. So if you're making something that's gonna fit your body perfectly, just keep in mind that it's gonna stretch. Next ones are a bunch of hats. So I found a blog while I was searching for bucket hat patterns. I was searching for like free bucket hat patterns. I couldn't find a lot, but I found this blog, and I'll also put in the description as well. I bookmarked it. I used it so many times. It's great. This pattern gives you this look. So normally, if you follow the pattern, completely, it's this kind of look. The brim is going to be straight and not so floppy, but it looks good still. But if you would like a little bit of different look, like this, you can increase the stitches at the bottom, and it will give you a bit of a wavier look at the brim, and it's gonna look really cute. I tried to change the pattern up a little bit, and it gave me different results. I really like this one. I really like how this one looks. And another one of my favorite hats is this. Again, with the same pattern, I just made it a little bit more wavy at the bottom, and I added a trim with a different yarn. This is double yarn. I used a black and white yarn, just use them together, and then at the end I added this red part, and it looks really cute in my opinion. This is one of my favorite hats. I also made one more of this for myself, but I added this to the collection for my small business. These two, I changed the same pattern a little bit. I made these hats a bit shorter so they sit different than the others. They're a little bit shorter than the others. The others kind of cover your whole head, but this one is just, I think, stays around your ear or like right down your ear for, functionality. This is something you can use in winter. I would make it longer so it would cover your ears and keep you warm. This wouldn't really keep you warm. This would keep your head warm, but not your ears. And this one is also one of my favorites. I love the color, and I learned how to change yarn, so I wanted to test it on here as well, like the other hats that I made. But yeah, I use a different color at the end and in the middle parts as well. I'm gonna try the hats on to show you what they're gonna look like. Look at this, so cute. This, again, as I told you, It's a bit short. My favorite, my absolute favorite. This is so cute. I love this hat. And it keeps warm. It is super cute. I like it, the brim being wavy like this, a bit like ruffly. Right? Very cute. I like this yarn. It's fuzzy. I like fuzzy yarns. And then this hat. This really covers my eyes, but you can use it like this. I like it. And we're down to last 3 projects. I am going to show my favorite last. Next one is one of the projects that I'm really, really proud of. I don't know how I finished this, but it is Granny Square Pants. I'm really proud of this one. It took so long. It took very, 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 very long. I started with the granny squares. I made tons of granny squares. These granny squares all made individually to be put together like this. So I was trying to figure out how to make pattern for the pants, and that was really challenging, and I still didn't make it quite right. Even though it worked, I think it's a little bit tight around the crotch, and that's why as I wore it, I kind of the stitches became a little bit looser, and then it started creating a hole. But it's okay because I wear it with tights underneath usually, and I wear it with like black tights underneath, and you don't really see anything. So even though there's a hole, it's fine. No one really sees anything. If I was making it right now, I would use cotton yarn. I would use a lighter weight cotton yarn. So I would make it probably for summer. This is more suitable for winter. This was a good project. I made all these granny squares separately. I connected them all together. And also I added this waistline. I think I decreased here so it fits my waist a little bit better. And even if I didn't decrease, I added this string. Just put it through the holes in here, and I can adjust it as I want, so it works both ways. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is a good project that took months. I was traveling. I took this project with me. I was making granny squares everywhere I go. But it was good because it's just those little things. You don't have to carry a whole garment with you. You know, it's just little parts of it. You're making it, and then at the end you're connecting it. So it doesn't take much space when you're making it at first. So it was nice. The next project is one of the most recent projects I made, and it is again a very ambitious project because it was a sweater, and it took very long. It took at least 30 hours, probably more. And I I made all the stuff and I didn't weave in the ends. I just have these things still loose. But I'm very proud of this project too. It looks like this. It has a little mistake. You might not be seeing it right now, but I'll show it to you in a second. It looks like this. Don't mind the ends. Sorry about that. Just the loose ends hanging around. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the ribbing around the neckline. I'm happy with the ribbing here around the, on the hem. It's just good. I'm happy with these little squares. It's good. It's great. I didn't follow any pattern for this. I tried to figure it out myself. You know, when you just put rectangles together, you can make a lot of things when you're crocheting. So that's great. The only problem was I just couldn't figure out the sleeve. So the sleeve looks a little funky. Sleeve looks horrible, actually. The sleeve is a joke. It's not supposed to look like this. It has like a little wave here. Oh my god. It has that curve for absolutely no reason. But yeah, I don't know why that happened. I think I was trying to make it tight at the end here, and then this, and they didn't connect well. I made a mistake there, but that was my only mistake on this sweater. Everything else is fine. And I think originally when I made it, it was a bit smaller or shorter, but then I washed it. I didn't wash it in the machine. Don't worry. I washed it by hand. I'm not a monster because this is wool. I mean, it's mostly wool. Actually, it's mostly wool blend. It's half-half, I would say, because the green yarn that I use is 100% wool, but the other yarn that I use, it is wool and acrylic blend. So yeah, you can wash this in the machine, but not the wool one. Not recommended. That's why I washed it by hand, and when it was a little damp, so I laid it flat. You know, that's how you should dry it, because otherwise it's gonna hang and get loose. You can't do it. And it's heavy too. It gets heavier as you wash it. So it was flat on a towel, and that's how I was drying it. But then to make it a little faster the next day or 2 days later when it was still not dry, I put it on a hanger. That was probably a mistake because then it started getting a bit looser and longer. But that is okay. It's still not horrible. It is a good size. I can still wear it. It's not that different than what I originally made. I made this to just stay warm in, you know, Canadian winters because it gets really cold. I didn't really have the chance to wear it because at work it's really warm, but I might wear it maybe next winter. And inside it looks like this. I don't know if I think it's normal because I can't be cutting every end. I just connected them all. Like I just connected all the ends at the back, and it looks neat. It's just the pattern like this at the back. Cute. The last project I'm going to show you today is the one that I'm really, really proud of because I wear it the most. It looks great. I love it. And it's this shirt. Jacket, shirt type of thing. It's so pretty. You can tie it. I wear it with either tank tops or t-shirts. But yeah, it is really, really cute. I love the sleeves. I put a bell sleeve. I made this with scrap yarns because I bought all these fabrics from Turkey and I didn't really have the chance to go and buy more, obviously. So I wanted to use them for a project, but every yarn was just like small pieces of yarn, right? So I couldn't make a project out of every individual yarn. So I wanted to put them all together and make something like this, and it worked out so well. I think they're mostly cotton. I can't really remember. This is not my design. I found this design on Pinterest. I didn't follow a certain pattern. I just made rectangles and I connected them all together, and it worked out really well. As I said before, crochet can be so easy. You can just make rectangles and create a garment super easily, and that's what I did with this project. This is the back of it. The only problem with it is at the top, the only mistake I made at the top here, because when you tie them, the top part ties like the tie is right here. So it is a bit uncomfortable when I tie it. I either leave it loose, open, or I tie it a bit looser than the others so it doesn't really choke me. But other than that, it is the perfect top. I get lots of compliments on this, and I am very proud of this project. I'm very happy with this project. So this is I think my favorite thing I made. I have more items. I made lots of other crochet projects. I made some custom projects. I made lots of stuff for my small business. It's called Love Potion, by the way. You can find me on Instagram. Just search Love Potion Handmade, and you can see all of my crochet projects over there. But for now, these are all the things that I made while I was learning how to crochet and all the things that I made for myself. I hope you like them, and I hope it gave you an idea or maybe an inspiration if you want to learn crochet or if you're on a learning journey. It's definitely difficult at first, but you don't really have to invest a lot in it. You can just start with one type of crochet hook, use a medium weight yarn, just buy a cheap yarn to start with. And there are a lot of free patterns online. You can start with very, very simple things. Or if you're really ambitious like me, you can start with very ambitious projects. They might not come out great, but you'll learn a lot at least. Again, like I said, I'm going to share all the links in the description below so you can find your own free patterns as well. That's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So don't forget to subscribe and please like this video, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya!